Hoje o Instituto fez mais um evento social, só que foi um evento diferente. Tivemos a visita de um grupo de americanos de uma ONG chamada Blackman Option, que estiveram na Maré e estiveram no Turano. Foi maravilhoso. Eles contribuíram com 120 cestas básicas. Conseguimos também fazer o Cine Comunidade para as crianças. E no final tivemos um jantar para todos os convidados.
So today was a wonderful day. It's a privilege to be able to be in a position to give back. And as we travel, we see things and we want to do something. And this was a perfect opportunity today to give back to a community and be a part of this community in Brazil.
Oh, today was a very wonderful day. It was a life-changing experience. I got to see exactly what Rodrigo does. He has a very great project. I think it's very inspirational. To me, he's a hero.
Agradeço demais ao Ralph da Blackman Option pela parceria e mostra que, independente das culturas diferenciadas, todos podemos pensar pelo bem maior, que é o ser humano, e a melhora das crianças através de projetos sociais, esporte e entretenimento. Ralph, a você, meu máximo respeito. Muito obrigado pela parceria e a visita aqui no nosso país. Os.
Like I said, the terminology that you created, the Matrix.
I borrowed it, actually. I can't take all of that credit because, I don't want to take nothing away from that sister that wrote the movie,
Okay.
The Matrix. I borrowed it from her, actually.
Okay.
And it was just an analogy to say that we live in that matrix where we think that that's the norm. It isn't the norm. We need to get out of those borders. A lot of people don't want to lead a block, for the fact that that's all that they know. A passport is true freedom.
To me, it's a lot of guys think that the reason why we black men travel, and this has been the biggest misconception, this is even going on during the movie, that we go to these other countries because when women starve or thirsty as hell, And we got it so bad in the Matrix that we got to leave to go get a woman. It's more, to me, it became more than just a woman.
Right.
When I travel, it's an excitement.
Exactly.
It's a great stress reliever.
Exactly.
Without stress, stress out your life, or at least low in your life, okay, you live longer.
You get to experience things, you get to see beautiful countries.
Exactly.
And you get to experience with somebody who ain't going to stress you with the baggage that they bring along with them. You understand what I'm saying?
Welcome to BMO Radio with your host, Eric Spencer, president of the Black Man's Option.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of BMO Radio. This is the Monday night edition. We were going to go on last night, but we wanted to wait till we got some details for the incident that we're going to talk about tonight. And as you can see in the title, we got breaking news. Breaking news, Negroes. We now have what they call Copacabana's Most Wanted. That's right, Copacabana's Most Wanted. This is in response to the story that we did last Sunday in the passing of Mr. Morris. He now has been identified, and we're able to share that. It didn't take long for them to find out who this was. And I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of us didn't think they were ever going to find out who did it because he was a African-American tourist. But something happened between the incident happening and them deciding to make a full effort to find out who did this. And lo and behold, last night, we got the word that they identified one of the young ladies. They had the footage, they were able to pull it, and they were able to identify one of the young ladies. As you can see in our thumbnail, the young lady that has been identified is Miss Leticia Clara Bento de Silva. Now, this young lady is still on the run. She's still out there running around the streets. They haven't identified her accomplice yet, but they do have her on video. Now, I don't know if there's a reward. If you happen to run across her or her friend, maybe you get a big bowl of acai at BB's. I don't know. But definitely, they jumped on this quick. A lot of the guys that I know in Brazil were very surprised and shocked how fast they identified these young ladies. So much so that it made national news. So right now, they are on the run, and they have issued a warrant for Miss De Silva. Her face has been plastered in the national news, and this incident is getting national traction in Brazil. And I think that's a good thing. And apparently the young lady has had a reputation for doing this. She's already been under investigation for drugging locals. And now she apparently has gotten caught up because the person that she drugged ended up losing his life. And that person was an American tourist. Regardless of his skin color, he still has status because he's an American. His passport is blue. So the young lady is still out here. And for all you men that are traveling, that are in the Copacabana area, be on the lookout. Now, me personally, I think she's probably in the favela someplace hiding. She's not going to come out waiting to see if this thing's going to blow over. But because how fast they responded to it, I don't think it's going to blow over. I actually think they're going to catch this woman. Somebody's going to tell, because what they're going to do is they're going to start putting heat on them favelas. Somebody's going to talk because they don't want the tourism to be disrupted, because now you messing with the church's money. And Mr. Morris, from the news report that I was able to look at, was a very generous man. He had a money fund that he managed worth over $14 million. He had nonprofits that he ran in his city. And he was a very successful and kind-hearted man. And it also seems like he was very well traveled. But now that the details have come out, he wasn't in country 24 hours and he lost his life. Now, on the initial report, when I was doing my research, I had it wrong. I was going by one of the young ladies that made a comment saying that she saw him July 21st, but that was not true. She had mistaken him for somebody else. You know, we all look alike, black, rich, good looking. Well, I mean, myself. I don't know about the rest of y'all Negroes, but from the detailed accounts from what the police released, he wasn't in the country 24 hours before he was gone. And tonight we're just going to talk about it because I think this is something that needs to be talked about. I really do. Somebody left a comment. I want to say it was the Brazil show. And he said that this Boy Noichi Cinderella has been going on for a long time. But now you're starting to see them do that to tourists. Now, I'm pretty sure that it's happened before, and some young men were too prideful to let anybody know that they got drugged. But mostly this has been done to locals. They've been dealing with it for years. But as the economy changes, and so does the environment in the country change, you're going to start seeing more and more of incidents like this. Because they're not doing that well either. They have economic problems just like we do. And even more so in those countries. And you being an American, you're even a bigger target now. Because they automatically assume you're an American, you're rich, you got money. And if you go down there not being aware of your surroundings, even if you're experienced, like this young man, you still can get got too. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share the article. We're going to go over it. I'm going to bring my man G. Will up. G. Will has a background in law enforcement. So we're definitely going to discuss this case. And if anybody wants to add to it, have a question about it, or share their experience, we'll drop the link and they can come up and share that as well, because this is serious. I'm glad that the Brazilian government actually did something about it, because it actually shows that they value you being there. But it was unfortunate because this young man had to lose his life. And the only thing that we can do is just learn from his mistakes and move on. So with that being said, let me welcome my man G. Will to the show, and then we're going to get into it. G. Will, what's up, man?
What's happening, man? What's going on?
Hold on, let me see. I don't see you there. Hold on, let me see. Let me get you right there. Okay, yeah, I see you now. All right. Yeah, what's up, man?
What's cracking, brother?
Hey, man, what you think about this story?
It's sad it had to happen, but eventually something like this was going to happen. Sadly to say, based on my experience, man. But um, something good can come out of it. Uh, I really think the motivation was his credentials, man. They found out he was an American, and all the attributes that he said he was related to. I think that had a lot to do with it too. On top of tourism.
Yeah, because you and I both know, hey, they don't really want to mess with the money. Locals,
Mm-mm.
well, they don't really want that element there in Copacabana to begin with, but it makes it a bad look when you see somebody pass away.
Yeah,
Because anybody that's been to Copacabana knows that the majority of the people that live there have been living there for a long time. It's a strange mix.
generations.
Yeah, generations are in those buildings. It's a strange mix. Copacabana is a tourist area, but it's not a tourist area. So you have people that, like you said, have been living there for decades. That's their home. But because
Yeah,
Copacabana,
it wouldn't be surprising when you do an Airbnb that you have an old lady to the left of you and a young couple to the right of you, and that's actually their residence.
yes, and they've been living there for a long
60,
time.
50
50
years,
years.
you
Yeah,
know.
some of those apartments, they actually pass them down from generation to generation.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
little stuff like that, you just have to, be mindful about. But at the same time, it's still a big tourist destination area because the beach is such a huge attraction. It's worldwide known, Copacabana Beach. Outside of Christ the
It,
Redeemer and Sugarloaf, Copacabana is the main attraction. Go ahead, G.
Lapa too.
Yeah, Lapa and the stairs. Now we know that was Snoop and Pharrell that made the stairs very popular. We
Right,
already know that. We definitely know
right.
that. So for them to do what they did and do it so quickly, I salute them on that. But at the same time, like I said, it needs to be said because you can't go down there letting your guard down, thinking things are going to be hunky dory. And like I said, and these guys, I'm assuming he was a veteran because I was just looking at some of his postings, some of the things that were that his partner shared. He wasn't married; he just had a partner, and the partner expressed how could such a thing happen. And like I said, it was unfortunate, but you and I both know things happen.
Yeah, even if you're the most careful guy, I mean, things like this can happen. You don't think that. Well, what I think Brazil really did is they don't want that negativity that another South American country is having. That's known for that. So they're gonna. It was a lot of reasons why they did this, but I think because it happened to an American and we are down there, we're pretty prominent down there.
Yeah,
They had to get it together because you get something like that started, it's like a disease, man. It'll make dudes want not go somewhere else.
yeah, and like you just alluded to, now everybody's going to be competing for tourist dollars. If I don't
Hmm.
feel safe in Copacabana, okay, there's other places that I can go and feel a lot safer and spend my money.
Right.
People aren't traveling like they used to. Things are tight.
Yeah,
So everybody's competing for the same dollar when you talk about tourism. And it's probably going
that's
to get
true.
worse. So, but yo, let's go in and jump into this article real quick. All right, let me know if you can see that. Can you see that, G?
Yeah, yeah, I can see
Okay.
it.
So I translated this. This is from a Brazilian news site, but it's translated. So Anybody that's watching that speaks Portuguese, I apologize if the translation isn't exact, but we're going to do the best that we can with what we have. Now, as you can see by the title, the police have identified suspect giving goodnight Cinderella and causing death of the American tourist in Copacabana. Now, this is the young lady right here. The civil police have identified one of the suspects of applying the goodnight Cinderella coupe to an American tourist earlier this month in Copacabana. In the South Zone of Rio, according to the police homicide of the capital, Leticia Clara Bento da Silva, 23, met the victim in Lapa with a crony. Now, I don't know if that's a direct translation because that sounds derogatory. I want to say maybe his buddy, and it got lost in translation, but it says crony, who has not yet been identified. So what we know right now is this man, I'm assuming he flew into GIG, got to the Airbnb, and then went straight to Lapa.
Yeah.
And he felt comfortable enough to go to Lapa. That's why I said I don't think he was a rookie. I think he had been there before. Because him and his boy,
because that's not a rookie. That's not a rookie thing to do. You're not gonna go to Lapa your first time there. You gonna mess with the beach first, especially if you're around the beach. You're not going because Lapa is a couple of minutes away from the Copacabana.
Yeah. So he landed, got to the Airbnb, got situated, probably went out there and got him some water, got him a couple of things for the Airbnb, and then him and his boy, they might have grabbed something to eat, and then they went to Lapa. So they went to Lapa, proceeded to go out there and have a good time. And for people that don't know where Lapa is the party district in Rio de Janeiro. So they went down there and they met Miss Leticia and her partner in crime, per se. Let's continue. D'Wayne Antônio Morris, 43 years old, was Jamaican with American nationality and was found dead inside the apartment. The Boles de Carvalho Street. That may be wrong, but that's okay. Police suspect the woman drugged the tourist and the friend who was with him to steal. Leticia is already considered a fugitive. The agents now want to identify the second woman. So Leticia is the one that is in the thumbnail, the main one. This one right here. This is Leticia. She has been identified. She has previous encounters of drugging people, locals and tourists. And she's only 23 years old. Now, they didn't talk about the duration of the investigations, but apparently they knew who she was, and they have identified her before. Now, this is her partner in crime. This is the second one they're looking for because they're saying that they were together. And I'll show you the video footage of them getting out of the car and going into the apartment and then leaving. After being drugged, the man would have convulsed and foamed in his mouth. Police were called, but he was already dead. The man had arrived in Brazil the day before. Leticia, according to the police, is already investigated in several procedures by the same practice. That means they've been investigating her ass for drugging people. And apparently they knew who she was. But if you knew who she was, how come they didn't detain her? G?
Oh, I'm glad you asked me that because I was formulating my answer. Because it was locals, that's their culture maybe. I'm thinking of, we didn't know it was her because it's probably more women doing it than she is. She just happened to give the deadly dose to someone that wasn't of the country. Now, what probably makes it so fast that they knew who it was is that she's done it before. So they kind of knew what direction to look in because the crime was identical to a particular person, the way they do things. So they can look in a pool of females or males or people that just do these things and just basically sift through them. Then they'll get and the video evidence helped a whole lot. So they knew what direction to look in.
Yeah. I really do think that the video helped. And see, for a lot of people that don't know, Copacabana just updated those lights, those LED lights within the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Because they were dark. So they just updated those lights. And by them updating those lights, they added those cameras too. That is something new that just happened in the last 2 or 3 years. Because before, when we start going through there at night, it was dark through there. You could walk up and down Nossa Senhora, which is the side street behind the main street of Copacabana, and you walk up and down there, and it was dark throughout there.
Yeah.
So
you saying they have better lighting from, let's say, from Dolce Vita to Mabs. The lighting is much better now?
Yes. You'll see it in the video. I'm gonna show it to you in the video, and you'll see. So the U.S. consulate in Rio de Janeiro, he said the following note. The U.S. consulate, Rio de Janeiro, confirms the death of an American citizen on August the 8th. We offer our sincerest condolences to the family for the loss and are ready to provide consular assistance. We are closely following the investigation of local authorities into the cause of the death. Out of respect for the family during this difficult time, we have no additional comments. So the
family was raised in holy hell also. And if that brother was breaded like he had them type of assets, you gonna get some answers.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now, from the research that I was able to do on Mr. Morris, Mr. Morris was a manager of a money fund worth over $14 million. So that means if you managing that much, then you're going to be getting a certain percentage. All right.
And that goes a long way for international lawyer fees. So they had to come up with some answers, bro.
Definitely. So now let me share with you. Hold on, let me translate into English. Now, let me share with you the actual video. Let's back this thing up. I don't think we need to hear anything, but I want to make sure everybody gets a good bird's eye view of what went on here. So this is, hold on, let me stop this.
Man, the streets are bright, man.
You see how bright it is?
Day and night. Yes.
Right.
Yes, man.
Yeah. So anybody that's been to Copacabana, that's been traveling for years like we have, they can tell you, Copacabana was never this bright. It was never this bright. It was very dark. So
especially if you can see the shadows of the trees at night, that's bright, bro. That's bright.
So here we go. This is them getting out of the Uber.
Does it have a time on there running?
It actually does up here in the corner. It was a little bit after midnight. Yeah, a little bit after midnight. Almost 12:30.
What they'll be looking at is the time that they got out the car from the time that they came back outside of the building to leave.
Yep.
That will indicate that there wasn't any type of transaction like the men thought they were going to have. That was, oh crap, let's get out of here type.
Yeah. Now, this is them leaving. Now, if you look at the camera, the time is 2:15. So when they arrived, it was roughly about 12:30. You see right here on the camera, it's 2:15, and they're leaving by themselves. The doorman, he let them out.
Look how fast that they're walking though. You could tell the intention was something going on. Now they're catching what, a Uber? Okay.
Yeah. It looks like they jumped into another Uber. They was waiting on them.
Yeah.
And they sped out. So, like I said, anybody that's traveled to Brazil, stayed in the Copacabana area, they know that it used to be very dark. But now, as you can see, it's very bright. And I think that helped them in identifying them because you could see clearly. And like my producer said in the background, he said, those look like 4G cameras. So all of this is new. All of this is new. Now, this is the detail part from the investigation. So the images of the security company, Gabriel, obtained by G1, and they analyzed by the civil police of Rio de Janeiro, RJ, show the moment the American D'Wayne Antônio Morris, 43, found dead in Copacabana last Thursday, arrived at the building where they were staying, accompanied by a friend and two women who are suspected of killing him. The two foreigners were staying in Copacabana in the South Zone of RJ. They had met both women hours before in Lapa, in the central region of Rio de Janeiro. Hours. So they just met them. They didn't know who they were. They just met them at the club, and they thought it was on and popping. Hours after arriving at the building, the victim was found dead. The main line of the investigation is that the American, who was born in Jamaica and naturalized, was doped by falling in the coop. Good night, Cinderella. Police are investigating whether the suspects are call girls. We call them women of leisure here. You might find them on a boat someplace, but you know.
Those are Bunta queens, man.
They might be on the boat someplace. I don't know. You know.
They ain't no students. They're not no students.
Damn sure ain't working their way through nursing school.
Right.
The security company record shows the group arrived at the apartment on Rua Bolis de Calvado shortly after 2:20 a.m. In the images, you can see the vehicle slopes. One of the women in the front seats descends. Then D'Wayne and a friend, Jamal, A Major, and the second woman who are behind also descend and proceed to the building. They walk and they enter the building. 2 hours later, Gabriel's camera footage re-recorded the women. This time, they were alone leaving the apartment. A doorman releases the exit, and they board a black vehicle that had been waiting for them for at least 6 minutes. So that's not really out of the way. They probably called the Uber beforehand, and he was probably waiting on them.
Or it could have been somebody that they would, because this doesn't seem like that. It could have been somebody that they was working with. Because if they was going to take all this stuff or take his stuff out, this is bigger than what. This is just a spoke of the wheel. To me, from what I see, it's a spoke of the wheel. Because if you've been doing this type of things, you're just not going to call an Uber and wait for the Uber to come while you're trying to get this person's goods. There have to be somebody that's going to help you fence it off. And I think that person wasn't an Uber driver. They may have been working in concert with them.
No. Yeah, you're right. So hold on. Let me get back to this. Waiting for 6 minutes. Image also showed the car left at 2:17 a.m. from Copacabana, passed through Ipanema, Leblon, until accessing Rua Esposa, Peso, and Legona. I think that's why you go back, towards the tunnel, towards the north zone. From there, the car where the women and the women were in the car no longer seen. I don't know what. Translation. Major, which is his friend, told the police that after meeting the two women in Lapa downtown, the group went to the apartment rented by app. So they went by the Airbnb. The two slept. When Jamal woke up, he no longer saw the women. The friend also said the victim's belongings were missing.
So, Eric, one of the brothers in Eric, he asked what. So the two gentlemen were sharing an Airbnb?
Yep. They were in the same Airbnb. They might have had a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. They didn't go into detail, but they were in the same Airbnb together.
Okay.
So the two slept. When Jamal woke up, he no longer saw the women. The friend also said the victim's belongings were gone. He questioned the civil police if D'Wayne's body had already been released and left to Brazil. The agency did not respond, but the report found that the American body is still in Brazil waiting for bureaucratic, tongue-tied, but anyway, repatriation procedures. Until Monday night, the victim's friend was still in Brazil. So anybody knows that if you pass away in Brazil, it's a process.
It's going to be a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the same process when Charles passed away. It took a long time for us to be able to get his body back to the States. A lot of that is cost. Now, I'm going to put out a little nugget here. For all you guys that are traveling, you need to have travel insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're traveling 2 or 3 times out of the country, you need to just go ahead and get it for the whole year. Now, personally, I have Geo Blue.
Very cheap.
Yes, I have Geo Blue, and it covers. If you get sick outside of the country, you can use that. If you end up passing away and you have to have your body returned to the States, then it covers that. Now, I think that this young man didn't have that insurance. So the reason why they're probably holding on to it is, yes, they have to do an examination, but also somebody got to pay some money. Somebody got to pay some money.
That's for the examination. That's for the storage.
Yep.
Before anything can be signed that he can be transported back to the United States, Brazil need to get their money.
Exactly. So
first and foremost,
you need to have travel insurance. You can get it for 2 weeks. You can get it for whatever duration that works for you. But I encourage everyone to get travel insurance for incidences like this, so that your loved ones don't have to worry about coming up with the money to get your body returned back. Yeah, you don't want to burden your family like that.
And think about it this way. For 2 nights going out to Lapa, you can have 2 to 3 weeks of coverage. Just 2 dinners going to Lapa. That's how reasonably priced it is.
It's always better to CYA, especially when you travel. Even if you solo travel, at least have somebody that knows where you are and somebody that knows how to contact you in case something happens, and has a copy of your policy, so that if something does happen to you and you're not able to respond or initiate coverage, then these people have your policy number and they can say, hey, look, so-and-so and so-and-so is in the hospital. Here's his policy number. Here's his ID and stuff. He's going to need help, or he's going to need some type of services, and he has insurance, and they're going to get you covered. And I'm telling you, for my personal experience, I had Geo Blue, and I had an incident where I had to go to the emergency room in Thailand. And when I called from my hotel, by the time I got to the emergency room, they already had my paperwork. And that was like a 10-minute took ride. They had my paperwork, got in, I didn't have to pay nothing. So Geo Blue is what we use, what I recommend. But if you can't get Geo Blue in your area, there are other options. So with that being said, lesson learned. Let's continue. In a statement the day after his death, the U.S. consulate in Rio de Janeiro said it had provided consular assistance to D'Wayne's family and was closely monitoring the investigation by local authorities. Also, according to the diplomatic representation, out of respect to the family during this difficult time, would not make additional comments. According to Eric Koser, the executive director of Gabriel, the company's images helped Rio police solve an average of 10 crimes a day, 80% cases of cell phone theft and theft, but also more serious cases such as homicide. The images also helped 8 people who were unjustly imprisoned and regain freedom. So, they got the same thing that we have, case of mistaken identity, whatnot. But like I said, this is the stuff that happens that nobody wants to talk about because it's not sexy. But we always want to give you the whole perspective. We want to give you not just the good side, the bad side. And we're not being pessimistic. We just want guys to have the correct information, because you can go down here thinking everything's hunky-dory and get got. So the last thing I'm going to share for all you men that are currently in Brazil or may be on your way in Brazil in the next 2 or 3 weeks, let me zoom in on this face right here. This is the wanted. So let me see. Let's see. Can you see that, G?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. All right. So this is the young lady that they have identified. So before you pull out your hay ice and try to get nice,
Yeah.
think twice and look before you leave, because he got a picture right here.
Right.
She will hit you with that Born Noche Cinderella, and your ass may not come back.
But think of it like this too, fellas. If she is not the only one doing this, she's the only one that got caught. So anyone you meet, particularly in a high traffic area where tourists go, stay on your toes. Don't really think that you out of the US and you put your guard down. I always tell the guys I'm with, look, man, y'all worry about the front. I got the 6. You ought to be
Exactly.
360. You got to watch
Man.
everybody, man.
You got to be on it, man, because it's serious out here. Hey, we want you to enjoy yourself. Definitely enjoy yourself when you travel, because you work hard. You got to put up with a lot of stress in the matrix. And as John and Charles said in the beginning, hey, it's a stress reliever. It's not just about the women. It's about you getting out of the matrix and you feeling more relaxed because you're not under that strain. But at the same time, we want you to understand, look, you have to look at this very objectively when you travel, especially now.
Yes.
And
you're in a land of have and have nots, and they have not mostly. So you may not think of yourself as being so prosperous in America, but when you get out of that, then you are in a different type of money rack.
Yeah, you definitely are in that. And you know what? The funny thing is, Eric Carter, he asked a good question. Don't the doormen always ask for ID? No, they don't. They don't.
Because it could be a different doorman.
Yeah.
And some doormans don't give a damn because they don't want to be there anyway. And I'm gonna just keep it real like we always do. They may be asleep half the time, especially at that time of night. Man,
exactly. Yeah. Always tip the doorman. Hey, look here. hey, look. I had some extra chicken and stuff, and like a little plate, and two cans of guaraná, and I gave it to my doorman when I first got there. And man, you talking about every time I came in, he was on it. He was happy about that. And when I left, I gave him a big bottle of vodka. I hadn't even opened. Man, you would have thought that I was invited to the Brazilian cookout.
Yeah. Hey, I had about 300 ice left over. I knew I wasn't coming back for a while. I hit my man up, but I gave the other guy, I said, look, this is for you. And I gave the other one and when I came back, they are friends for life, man. They'll watch your back.
Definitely. So, a little goes a long way too. And not saying that would have been a factor in what's going on here, but you just have to be careful about this, because you're going to be targets now. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the world that we live in.
Especially there. You may not think people are watching you, but they're watching you.
They are. They are watching you.
You'd be amazed how people remember you by what you wear, especially our symbol, the Black man's option. It's been there for a while, so they know. Any brother, that's why we're so particular about our first dinner hats, because they know. And your reputation will get you in trouble, or it will get your ass out of a lot of shit.
Yeah, definitely that, because I don't want to sound like we're arrogant, but I always tell guys, like, bruh, we are ambassadors. They're watching you to see if you line up with what the United States says about us, and that's not true. We aren't those people, but they want you to believe that. And lightweight, they admire you. They want to emulate you, but their country, and some things in their country they just can't do.
Right.
They just can't, because they don't have freedom of speech. Like the young man that we had on about 2 weeks ago, he speaks out about issues between Black men and Black women in Brazil, and for fear of retaliation, he had to take down all his social media. Whereas we have people online giving them that work. Yes, dudes may lose their channels and whatnot, but they still come back strong. You're not going to be able to stop the bum rush. Whereas there, they want to keep that stifle. Definitely
they want to keep a particular class of people where they are on this part of the steps and furthermore. And when you go there, you are inspiration to trying to get out of that particular position that they in, because a lot of them will look at you in awe. And like the press said, we're not bragging. We just telling you, and all the fellas that been to Brazil more than 1 or 2 times know what we're talking about. You will have people looking at you in admiration. Sometimes it's jealousy. You're going to get the whole gamut, but they're looking at you because they have American TV also.
Yeah. So that's why I always, we want guys to have a good time and whatnot, but you have to be balanced in your approach. Understand that, you're still a guest in these people's country and treat the people with respect. Now, if somebody stepped to you, you fearful of your life, you're going to defend yourself regardless of whether wherever you are, who you are. But at the same time, you still want to be respectful because you are an ambassador. You're a guest in somebody's country. And I just think that it's better to have a positive image to contradict the negative image.
Exactly. And it's better for you to be alive and tell them what happened than you be dead or hurt and have some other witnesses say what happened to you. So I don't advocate violence. I advocate, self-protection. I'm not going to let you just sit here and whoop my ass because I'm in another country.
No, hell no. That ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna be no punking up out here, Right. But that's in defense of if somebody's threatening your life, brothers, we shouldn't be having altercation overseas. So I'm just gonna say, hey, normally when you see a brother, you throw your hand up and whatnot, but at the same time, you got to be very selective about the group of people that you hang around, because some of these dudes is kind of,
suspect.
Yeah.
Suspect.
Zesty.
Right.
Zesty.
Right. And sassy. Ain't that the new word?
What's that?
Sassy.
Zesty, sassy. and in Brazil they call them sticks. So, but I just wanted to give you guys a update on that. I am going to drop the link if anybody wants to come up, share their experiences, or add to the conversation, or maybe they have some more information outside of what I was able to gather. Because like I said, I was trying to come on last night, but I didn't have enough information, and this information just came out like last night. They released all the information about Miss Leticia, how it went down. They issued a warrant for her arrest, and they're still looking to identify the other woman. So, they really want to get her and people of her ilk. And I also think this is to send a message to anybody else that does that, because this was on national TV. It wasn't on your local Channel 3 news. It was on there like ABC World News Tonight or something like that, nationally. So they're putting out a message to everybody that if you think you're going to come to Copacabana and drug tourists and get away with it, we're going to make an example of you. And I honestly think that's the reason why.
Carnival is a couple of months away, 4 or 5 months away. So they're getting prepared for that.
Well, no, look at this. They're about to have Rock in Rio here September 13th through the 24th. So we ain't even talking about a couple weeks. They're about to have another big event. We talking about 7 to 8 days of concerts that they're going to have. So you're not going to have to wait until Carnival. You got a big event that's happening in a few weeks. Less than a month.
That's messing with their bottom line, because that's people deciding on if they want to come, and they hear something like that. It scares people, especially if you've never been there before.
Yeah. And that Rock in Rio is a big deal. I looked at the acts, the acts that they were going to have. It's a lot of big names up there. So those are things that, they don't want to disrupt that money. I'm telling you, money's getting tight and people competing for that dollar. So you don't want to mess that up and scare people off. Exactly. Even if you're a vet, Even if you're a vet, you can get got. So, just be careful out here, and make sure you got somebody that's watching your back. Don't get all caught up. Don't let your drink out of sight.
Yeah.
Just things that normally you would think. Don't get too caught up in having a good time and forget where you at. If you go to Rio, you run up on something. Trust me, it's watch your six. That's all I got to say.
Especially if you invite her to your crib. When you get there, but it happens though. You meet somebody, maybe not in Lapa, you may meet them at Mavs, on the street, on the beach, whatever. You need to have your Airbnb Bunta proof, for a lack of a better word. That's once you get there, put up your valuables, because you don't know what'll happen when you get on the outside. You may bring a little something back. And you want to make sure you don't put any type of traps out there for them to see. You want to put everything away that you don't want them to see. I call it being Bunta proof.
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna come there. I'm gonna make sure everything is where I want it to be in case I have company.
Yeah, dudes get too comfortable. I'm like, dude, you are not in the States. Like, I have a little mini safe to where I put my passport, my credit card, my backup cell phone, any other things that I can get in there and lock it. If the room doesn't have a safe, I put it in there. Because those are things that I can't replace and I need to get out of the country. Even valuables, watches, anything. And it's big enough to where it's secure. You're just not going to be able to come in there and take it. Now, you might get my laptop, but hey, I can replace that. But you still aren't going to get away with the valuable stuff that's going to be hard for me to replace. But like I said, man, we just wanted to give you an update about that and bring this to you because we felt like it was important, especially with them still being on the run.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers, you may walk up on that person and say, man, you know what? I saw them on BMO. You won it. Maybe you save your life. But I would think that they know that the heat's on them and they done got the hell up out of Dodge.
Yeah. They up north somewhere. If they anything good, they up north somewhere.
Yes. Somebody done dyed their hair because her hair was black in the photos, but in the mugshot, her hair was blonde. So, man, that chick might have shaved her head off. she went bull dagger, just cut that shit off, try to change it up to get the hell up out of there.
That's the difference of somebody doing a lot of crime. They always change up their look. Mm-hmm. That's one of the main things that they do. They may not cut their hair like you said, but in the picture she was brunette.
Yeah,
and she was blonde. So, and it's not just for fashion. When they're doing some illegal type of stuff, it's just basically to throw a lot of people off.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I put the link out there, and if anybody want to come up, say a couple words, like I said, share your experiences, but not just in Brazil, any other place you go. Like we already know about them doing it in Colombia, but it's kind of died down, but I think it's still happening. It's just not being as publicized because they don't want to scare off tourists. They have festivals and other things going on, and they're competing for that same dollar that Brazil's trying to get. So they don't want to scare the people off. But, this is something that's going to probably be happening a whole lot more in those countries. Now, I'm pretty sure it happens in Thailand and some of the Southeast, but I don't think you hear about it as much. I don't think it happens as much because they don't tolerate it. And they regulate a lot of the action and stuff over there versus freelancing in Brazil and all the other stuff,
Thailand kind of got more, even the people, they're not motivated by that because it's more penalized there.
Yeah. Yeah. You can get.
You don't want to go to jail in Thailand. You don't want to go to jail in Thailand.
No, you damn sure don't want to go to jail in Thailand.
Brazil is bad. You think Brazil is bad. Go. You don't want to go. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. We got a BMO member that he retired military and He's the only black man to work on the top police force for 8 years. And he definitely told us, he said, yeah, you don't want to go to jail in Thailand. You definitely don't. They don't play. They got that bamboo stick and they will crack your ass. You think
and they know how to use it.
Yes, sir. You thinking you 6 or 7 years old getting an ass whooping with that racetrack or that
right.
you be having flashbacks and shit. So
yes, sir.
All right. Well, since nobody want to come up, they don't want to share their experiences. They don't want to admit that they got drugged and stuff and embarrassed. It's okay.
Right.
I understand. But anyway, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Quit playing. We trying to get to at least 1,500, 2,000. When you come through the door, hit that like, share, because the content we talking about is not going to be something that's sensationalized. Ain't gonna be butt naked. Yeah. Well, we already know we got ghost watchers, but we ain't gonna worry about that. But like I said, we appreciate the people that come out. We feel like this is a more organic crowd, guys that are really serious about brothers traveling and exploring the options and showing the entirety of travel. Because as the world changes, so are the options that brothers are gonna have. And what 2025 has in store for us, we don't know. But at least in 2024, we can enjoy it. We're still here. We got our heads above water. We got money in our pocket, and we have the ability to go. We got our passport. And to me, that's a blessing.
That's right.
So with that being said, I'm going to end this show tonight, but I appreciate y'all coming out. But I do want to say a couple things. We still have a few slots left for the South Africa trip. If you are interested, you can contact me directly. And it is from November the 13th through the 24th. But please, if you are interested in going, get that together. And Mr. Carter, your ass need to be going. Quit playing. I talked to Big Sexy today, and he told me about the deal he made with your ass. So you won't have no excuse not to be on that trip with us. And yeah, I put you out there. And also, we also have another event that's going to be in Brazil, another part of our nonprofit, the Charles Tyler Foundation. We're in the process of almost getting it done. I'm just waiting for the paperwork to come back from the attorney so that I can file it and we can be official. And at that point in time, people will be able to make donations, and they'll be able to write those donations off on their taxes. So we'll be legit, and we'll have everything set up on the website so that if you want to make a donation, you automatically get a response for your donation. And we're also going to have levels where you get certain items to go along with your donations. So it's going to be a really big thing. And in 2025, we're looking at new destinations to go to. I think the way that we travel is a lot better. I know some dudes that want to go solo. That's cool. But sometimes it's good to have a group. And I think we offer the best experience when it comes to that. Not to toot our own horn, but nobody out here is doing group trips with men that didn't grow up together, 15, 20, 25, 30. And on top of that, being very inspirational to the places we go, because they're not used to seeing black men in big groups like that. 5, 6, 7, yeah, they're used to that. When you start seeing 15 and 20, your head start picking up. So definitely want to be
we
a part
have
of
fun,
that.
fellas. We have fun. We got so many characters in our group.
Yes.
That you will definitely remember this trip. If you never went, you may get a nickname too.
Oh yes, definitely gonna
and
get a nickname.
It's not for your approval. It's not for your approval.
Things just happen and you just get them. I got several, and I
got a couple myself.
Yeah. But like I said, it's all in fun. It's all in fun.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in that, let me know. You can contact us on Instagram, Facebook. Join the Facebook group. All the links are in the description box. We're on TikTok. We're on X, and we're definitely here on YouTube. So you can email us directly. So with that being said, G, I'm gonna give you a couple final words, and then I'm gonna say a few more things, then we're gonna get the hell up out of here.
That's right.
Right.
Just basically, fellas, when you travel, you got to watch your back. If you solo travel, just travel is good. but please watch your back. And everybody's not your friend. Everybody wants something from you. You want something from them. If the transaction goes cool, then fine. But there's always some type of undercurrent. Always think that way, especially when you're outside the U.S. Your value goes up.
Way up. Way up. All right,
Yeah.
G-Man, I'm going to drop you down. Don't go nowhere, though.
All right.
Once again, I appreciate everybody for coming out tonight. Just like I said, I just wanted to give everybody this update because we had this breaking news. And be careful out there when you travel, because the world is going to get a little bit more dangerous, especially for us. We're going to be targets because we are high-value assets. Now, I sound like I'm still in the military, but but they still don't kidnap us because, we don't get no ransom. They like, oh, no, y'all got black folks. But seriously, though, be careful out there. Watch your back. Have situational awareness, and have fun and come back. And like I said, make sure you get that travel insurance, because that is definitely important, because you never know what's going to happen to you when you're abroad. Not saying anything bad is going to happen, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all coming out. Hit the like button on the way out. Like, share, subscribe. Get some of this BMO merchandise so you can start representing. Get in the Facebook group. We got some new things coming up. And for the members that are here watching, we got a State of the Union coming up probably in September, probably before our event in October in Brazil. So with that being said, y'all have a good night. Tune in and stay tuned, because we got some more stuff coming for you. All right, Jamel, take us out of here, man. I'm ready to get on this flight.
Everybody in here was picked, selected, chosen. You are a difference maker. You are special. You are somebody. You're a conduit of change. And that's what we're going to do, change things. I don't know if y'all know it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you feel it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to win. You got to understand, we're going to win right now, not later, right now. Everybody in here is a change agent. We could go down the line, and every last one of you have a story how you provoke change wherever you've been, in some form or fashion. It ain't no normal guys in here. Everybody's been through something, they come out of it, but you changed the game wherever you've been. Am I right or wrong? You just got to believe. I believe it. You got to believe it.
This is Charles Tyler over at the Black Man's Option. Remember, I showed you the door. Only you can walk through it. Let's see what the world is all about. Charles Tyler signing off for the Black Man's Option. Check y'all later.